sports and entertainment on Google Plus Hangout. We always try and get you interesting guests, and I think this week is one of the best, okay? Let me just give you some quotes real quick. The Devils have become the leaders in the league, according to ESPN. Devils use social media as a promotional tool. That's the New York Times. And an unprecedented step in connecting with fans. That's USA Today. And the person behind this and the idea behind this is Will Carafello, who's in charge of the social media for the New Jersey Devils. Will, that's one of our better introductions we've ever had. We don't have quotes like that from most guests. Way to go. How did you guys do this? Because I know there was even your own sales team was like, well, what is this going to benefit us about a year ago? And then you're getting these kind of quotes and this kind of traction. How exciting is that?
You know, it really is you know, to see it go from conception to walking around now. It's been huge. You know, I don't want to take all the credit. We have a lot of people who put a lot of hard work and effort into you know, what we've built here. But yeah, I mean, really what it was management just said, this is it. Social media is where we want to put our focus. And you know, we're a very traditional organization. You know, we had always been kind of a late adopter, and this was one that they said, nope, we're going to figure out how we're going to be the best, and we're going to be on the forefront of it. And we came up with some unique ways to do that.
And talking about the best, I mean, you're someone that most of us are right now in our house, okay? You're a dedicated guy, I'll tell you that. This is Mission Control, folks, where he's sitting right now. This is at the New Jersey Devils headquarters, correct?
Correct.
Tell us about what this is, Mission Control, what you have in there, and the fact that you came all the way into the office just to do this Google Hangout. I commend you. Way to go.
Thanks. Yeah, no, I mean, this was kind of the brainchild of our president. You know, both Dell and Gatorade have a mission control, so you know, we made the decision that this would be a great move for us. You know, I'm actually right in the middle of the executive offices, so if you're coming to see one of our interns, or you're coming in here to see our president, or you know, CMO, anybody, you're going to get to see mission control. You know, glass doors, so you can see everything that's going on here, and obviously a lot of bright lights and bells and whistles. So you know, this was kind of the brainchild of like, okay, let's take that. And I think one of the big things with mission control, and I don't want to segue into our generals just yet, but you know, that was the decision. It was like, okay, we can kind of adopt this idea, but you know, how can we be a little bit different? How can we really make this work? And one of the things that Gatorade doesn't have, and Dell doesn't have, is fans. So you know, we decided, you know what, let's and this was a late night of many different ideas, and we had said, all right, well, why don't we just invite our fans in? And everybody laughed. And then we came up with a couple more bad ideas, and then we revisited the fan option. So and then we actually do that. We have 25 of our very passionate fans, some of them that are on here now, that get to come in the office and help us with our social media.
And why is that? Why did you decide to do that, open the gates to fans, to do it this way instead of employees and workers? That's a little bit risky there, because fans can get a little bit passionate, a little nutty, a little crazy. But I respect that you guys said, you know what, they're probably more passionate than people out there, so let's bring them in.
Yeah, no, we realized we were going to be either the reason why no sports team ever lets fans in the executive offices, or you know, we would be the leader of that and the first to do it. So you know, knock on wood, fortunately, you know, there are other teams that are starting to adopt it, but yeah, we just knew that we had fans who were very passionate about our product, you know, that knew the team inside and out, and wouldn't it be cool to kind of have a perspective from them? You know, we always tell our fans, our consumers, what they want. We want their money, but we never listen to them. So this was a really cool opportunity for us to invite them in, and you know, we were excited about it, and you know, it's a lot of fun. It is. They do keep us grounded, keep us you know, in tune with what our fans are talking about.
All right, we're going to start opening up to the floor. We want to thank everyone for being here. Brad Harrison, Diana Ridley, Ayel Bay is here, Robert Hanyon, Seth, Sherry Grossman, first time on, long-time listener. The guy behind and the guy that controls me, I don't know how, Charles Hogue, and then, of course, Will, thank you. But the first question, we're going to let it open to Derek Dockett. You're up.
Hey, how's it going? How's it going, everybody? Good evening. My question, I actually work in the capacity of new media and technology for a collegiate sports conference and have put a real emphasis on video content. And I was curious if you could share your video content strategy. Do you guys take the initiative to be transparent, to show behind-the-scenes stuff as much as possible, or do you just like to show the nice, glossy, well-produced stuff?
That's a good question. That's honestly our next frontier, really. Mobile and video. That's kind of where we're focused on. So, you know, we do want to give you know, we want to get produced stuff and you know, polished stuff as much as we can. But you know, we do, our PR person goes in the locker room with the flip camera and gets you know, raw footage. So that stuff works. And even too, we last summer we started doing some videos called "It's Different Here." An intern had come in and basically just you know, first internship, and they're like, my friends have no idea what happens when I go to work. They don't understand what I do. They think there's players hanging around, and we get free tickets, and it's all this fun and games. So, you know, when we were sitting in here, and we kind of just let our mind go wild, and we literally took the flip camera and shot a bunch of our "It's Different Here" videos that you can see on YouTube. You know, just kind of funny, very ESPN-esque stuff. But yeah, I mean, we like to mix in both. I mean, obviously, if there's the opportunity to give, you know, our fans something complete and polished and put together, but at the same time too, you know, we want to give them insight. We want to give them whatever we can, and if that's what it takes we have to, you know, do it with a flip camera and get it out. We'll do that as well.
Yeah, there's some great apps and great tools right now that you can use on your iPhone. You probably know about either Tout or Vidi. I would recommend those two. Tout is a 15-second deal that you can interview people instantly on your iPhone, and it goes straight out. You don't have to edit or anything, and it's fantastic. And, of course, with the iPhone, you can use the microphone, too, as well. You probably do that. I don't know if you know about that, Will.
Yeah, I'm actually a Droid user, so I don't get all the cool...
Oh, yeah, this goes right into your iPhone. It's pretty cool. But I bet you the Droid has the same kind of stuff. Tell us a little bit about the generals, how you came up with the generals. All right, Allison is back. Allison, we're so excited. Allison, you know what? I'm going to stop my question. I'll get to the generals in a minute. Allison is the one that connected you to get us on the show, to get you on the show. Really appreciate that, Allison. That is social media, what social media is all about. How did this happen?
Yeah, I mean, I've been always following the Devils just as a fan, and then once the Devils Generals kind of took over, which obviously you were leading into, Chris, it's something that really caught my interest, especially being in sports marketing and following that along with them, and especially during this playoff run. Heard a lot about Will and started following him, and then once the season was over, gave it a week, and then sent a message to try and get him on air.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. That's social media. But then people even talk about, well, that's social media, big deal. So you all connected, whatever. But I think that's huge. I think the intimacy of it and the connections. But more importantly, too, everybody wants to, the business people always want to say ROI. All right, I'm glad a team is finally making money on social media. Y'all are proof. Within a year, y'all have brought in over $500,000 in revenue. The goal now is $2 million through social media. So there is an ROI to social media, isn't there?
There is, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's yeah, that was kind of the first year was, all right, let's test it out, let's see, you know, let's get our feet wet, and then you know, shortly after, it's okay, we've done all this, we spent all the money, you know, let's figure out how we can start to make money, and you know, once our sales team was educated about it, it was a lot easier for them to sell, and to be honest, a lot of the sponsors were coming and saying, I want in, I don't know what this is, I don't fully understand it, but this is where everything's going, so let's focus in on that. And I'm sure there was initiatives internally where they were coming and saying, I don't know what Twitter is, I don't know what Facebook is, but I just need more Facebook fans. I need more likes. You know, how can you guys help us do that? So it was kind of a nice fit, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to have a good product for our fans, and you know, try to make a couple bucks for the organization as well.
I think that's fantastic, because I've gotten this argument ever since I left television to do social media stuff 5 years ago. People are saying, well, how are you going to monetize it? And I always tell people that if you can connect viewers, fans, where they're getting what they want, they're getting value out of something, the monetization will come. And it's nice to see an organization is now proving this to be true. And I think over time, more and more teams, more and more brands are going to have better case studies on the ROI. How are you guys doing it? How are you putting sponsors within the Facebook where they're interacting with fans? Give us some examples of what you guys are doing with that.
Yeah, I mean, at first our sales team was going out and just saying, "Oh, I saw 5 Facebook mentions as part of a sponsorship." And we're like, "Whoa, no, we can't do that. That's not a real thing." But then, what'll happen is once we bring sponsors in or people who are interested, that's when we kind of get involved and we'll be in the meetings with them and just find out what their goals are and how we can execute them. One of the bigger examples for us is New Jersey Lottery. They came in, they really were interested in what we were doing social media-wise. They had a big initiative as well, so we just kind of sat in a room with them and said, all right, let's see how we can use our platforms to help you guys. And we put together some really good promotions with them and some stuff, some co-branded stuff that got them mentions every week, so that we were able to put together a package that worked for them.
And then Ken is always on our show. He just messaged me. We can't fit him in, Charles. Ken, I know you're listening. He wants to ask a question. He's real big into ticket sales. What kind of stuff are you interacting with ticket sales? What kind of examples do you have for that with the social media?
Yeah, I mean, our first season, we were all over the place. We promoted College Night. We promoted any promotion that was out there. Again, still kind of learning the power of our Facebook and Twitter. And then after the first season or the half season of having Mission Control, I just made the decision that we're going to promote one offer a month. So we'll have a social media special value. I can't even say it. I get so excited about
No, that's great. That's a tongue twister, man.
Exactly. Yeah. So we would have one offer that we would promote exclusively through our social media. So the only way you would hear about it was there, and the numbers were significant. Once we kind of focused them, and now we're trying to train our fans that, if I'm a Facebook fan, there's a value to being there, and it's a discounted ticket once a month to a weeknight game. I'm not going to get Devil Ranger tickets on a Saturday at a great price, but there is an opportunity for them to come out to our games, via social media. So we were able to focus that, and we've done very well with it. I don't want to give you numbers, but once we were kind of able to push everything together, and obviously when you're promoting everything, when you're promoting Guys Night Out, when you're promoting college nights, there's a lot more people on there that don't don't fit into the criteria. If you're on social media now, you fit.
Oh, who's got a dog?
Oh, that'd be me. That'd be me.
All right. Okay. Anyway,
out of the house.
That's all right. Who let the dog out? All right. So Mission Control. I want to go back to this. Yeah. How cool is it? Do you ever get tempted sometimes on an off night just to go goof around in there and see what's going on in the world? And are there? You could probably find out with all that technology back there. Are there aliens? Are there aliens out there? Because you probably know everything. This is more impressive than the White House.
I say it's Sunday night at almost 9 o'clock, and I'm here. So that just shows you how cool it is. But yeah, no, it really is. It's got each computer has 3 monitors, and I didn't have 3 monitors until I moved into Mission Control, and now I couldn't go back. I've developed ADD because I'm constantly looking at everything going on. But yeah, no, I mean, we got a ton of technology in here, a lot of cool stuff. We've got video cameras and stuff like that we're able to take out and about. I look at us as kind of a newsroom. When we get all our information from ticket sales and sponsorship, and everybody's kind of feeding information into here, but also too, because we do both Prudential Center and the New Jersey Devils. If there is some sort of event going on, we've got a concert or some press conference or something like that, we can literally jump into action, get down there, get the content, and shoot back up here and be able to get it out there. So. Definitely was a thank you to management for sparing no cost and getting us the top-notch equipment in here. But the room is awesome. It's very cool. Again, hanging out here Sunday night. But also it really is the people that are in here that do help us out, and that's what really makes this room complete.
Don't forget, anybody that wants to ask a question, just type in here and say you're ready to roll, okay? Then you brought up something that I thought was very interesting. You just said it right now. You said we're like a newsroom. I hear that a lot. A lot of people don't get that. But brands are starting to figure this out. They're acting like Red Bull is great at it. They are acting like a news organization, a content driver. You're not relying on NBC, New Jersey, New York to come cover you. You can really create your own content now. Do more teams need to think more like a news organization and think about stories and what they can produce as well?
Absolutely. I mean, social media has now given us the opportunity to be our own channel 24 hours a day. We can give information. There's going to be a time and day where we're going to be the one breaking all of the information. You're not going to find out that we signed Brodeur to a contract from anyone else. You're going to be glued to your Twitter feed or Facebook because this is the source where it is. And I think teams like the Boston Bruins and the Celtics have done a fantastic job of kind of embracing that, especially the Bruins. The Bruins really have their own media network, and I read some stuff on what they were doing up there. But yeah, I think that's what teams have to start focusing on, is saying, I don't need to rely on the 6 o'clock news, and who's watching the 6 o'clock news anymore? So
that's why I'm not there. I agree.
So yeah, no, it's definitely changing the mindset and just thinking this is kind of focusing yourself on being the news source and not trying to reach people. But to be honest, we, especially during the playoffs, we kind of used our social media to get us media. We made Mission Control West. We literally rented an RV. Put big stickers. I hope the RV company's not tuning in, but we put big fathead stickers on the side that we were able to peel back off, and basically rode around Southern California. And we're able to be real time with our fans.
That's awesome. That's excellent. IL, finally, I thought y'all were getting bashful out there. IL, you're up.
Oh, that could never happen,
I don't have a shy crowd. I don't know what's up tonight. IL, go for it.
We're just being deluged with so much information. We're trying to make sense of it, which is what my question is. I looked at the video that you have online about your Mission Control Center, and with all of the fans you have and all of that real-time information that you have coming in, how are you making sense of it so that you're able to use it and exploit it in real time? What type of technologies or software or apps, what are you using?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good question. We're kind of doing very basic stuff now to understand what we've got that works. We're looking at basically the information that we get from Facebook. We also have a couple. We use Hootsuite for Twitter, and the same thing. We look at how people engage with our product. I think the most important thing, especially on Facebook, is shares. And Facebook's changed so much that originally I was looking at how many likes or how many interactions, and Facebook really does a good job of giving you some free statistics. But then as you start to look through the interactions, you're like, okay, it's easy to click a like button, so there really isn't much value into that. And then I start looking down the list, and then it was kind of like first, second, and then it's, oh, sign this player, or I love the Devils. It wasn't pertaining to what we were doing there. So then I started to look at our share numbers, and that means that I liked your content so much. It was so well produced. I'm willing to share that with all of my friends in my circle, basically. So we've been kind of looking at that. I know it's kind of a unique tactic because there really isn't anything to help us monitor that particular part of it. The same thing, we take a look at our content, and the stats that are provided from Hootsuite, and how many we use Bitly and stuff like that to see how many clicks we get, and how often it's shared and where it's being shared. We use that to kind of see what our fans are into. We know, but a lot of times too, I know if we're passionate, if we go out with a strong voice of, we've signed this player, or we've won, or we're going to the playoffs or something like that. I know our fans are going to be into it. There's stuff that you have to put out there that's not necessarily as exciting, but we're trying to do a better job of figuring out what our fans like. And definitely, anytime we can add video to it, that we've seen significant interaction on those.
Video rules, man.
One other question: Is your chief, your CMO, is he the devil himself, or is he like a subdemon, or how does that work?
I'm not allowed to say, but
Hey, everybody has seen the Seinfeld, and I wanted to air it tonight, but they said I would be kicked off for showing NBC. The Devils! The Seinfeld episode. Man. I love that episode, man.
Buddy?
Anybody that hasn't seen that needs to go YouTube that right now. I think that is classic. When he shows up with the painted face. That was great. And he was playing the New York Rangers that night, too.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned something how y'all traveled. You were on social media during the playoffs. You're going to love this little dig, by the way, at your rival. I was the biggest critic of the New York Rangers. I thought they were pathetic, lame, weak. For all of a sudden, they let their players do social media all season. The playoffs start, and they cut it off because they thought it was a distraction. Yet the New Jersey Devils said it's not a distraction, and you knocked them out of the playoffs. So commend you for that. There's ROI, and you can win on the ice by tweeting. Okay, I just had to let that out. Any comment on that?
No comment.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I'm surprised it took you that long to mention that, to be honest.
I know. I just thought that that was great that y'all just you did what you've always done and you just played the game. You know.
Yeah. No, that's our organization. Business as usual. I mean, they're on the ice. They're they're prepared. There's a reason that we're there, and the same thing here. I'm not going to step on the ice, and that's for the betterment of the team. So there's no reason for us to hold back in here.
All right, Ken needs to get on this thing. He's asking questions. He's got some good questions tonight. We may keep you out. True. We may keep you out on the closet just on YouTube because your questions are awesome tonight. He's asking other teams and bosses. There are far too many teams not really wanting to do it. How did you convince, or how did the Devils decide to do this, and how can other teams or other people in your position convince their bosses to do this? What do you think would be the best thing to tell them?
I mean, the most important part of it was it came from the top down. These were conversations with our president. We had an outside consultant, Activate Sports. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Jim Delaney, but we were all sitting in the room, and it was just kind of he believed in it first. So with our president believing in it and saying this is where we need to be, it obviously makes it a heck of a lot easier because he's the one kind of pushing the buttons. Very creative, willing to do whatever it takes to be successful. So, I'm very fortunate that I get to work for somebody who believes in it and thinks we should be out in the forefront, and it's okay to make mistakes as long as we learn from them. So, that's kind of what this experiment was, and we're very fortunate in the amount of PR and press that we've gotten from it, and the success we've had from it. So, it was a risk, and that's I think the biggest thing. A lot of organizations want to stay in their, I'll buy TV and I'll buy radio, and I'm still comfortable with the paper, and I got a good deal with them.
Boring.
So, yeah, I don't want to switch my marketing dollars. I don't want to switch over to that. And there's a lot of people, and even within the organization, we get afraid of what we could say and how it could be construed, and who knows what's going to happen. But we've had so many successful social media plugs from this last season alone. That there's proof in the pudding there. It's we've been very successful and it showed. So unfortunately I don't have an answer, but I think you can use us as an example.
Yeah.
The stuff that we've been able to do here, and I know there's many successes out there with other teams.
Ken Troop, you ask good questions all the time. Just kidding. Okay, Allison, you're up to go.
Yeah, I apologize if I missed a little bit on the Army when I got bumped out, but obviously that's a big part of it, is having, and the fact that they're just fans who are volunteering their time I think is awesome. So what kind of feedback have you gotten from them? Obviously they're committed to it, they keep showing up, but I'm curious what kind of conversations you have with them, what you guys are looking at as far as continuing to grow it, but specifically how the Generals have really helped the whole program.
Yeah, the Generals have been the best part about this whole thing. We have a meeting every morning at 10 a.m. If the Generals are in here with our interns, generals, who's ever around, we'll also.
Can you tell people that are just tuning in what the Generals are and what they're about?
Absolutely, yeah. The Devils Generals are 25 volunteer fans that come in and help us with our social media. They also have their own branded stuff, so you can follow the Devils Generals on Twitter. At Devils Generals, as well as they're on Facebook as well. So they have their own brand. They will communicate to our fans but they also do help us out with our social media. So they come in with our interns and everybody, and I joke around, I call it our TMZ meeting, but we kind of go around the room and we talk about what's hot. So, you know, from my perspective, I've got to make sure I get these mentions in for particular sponsors. We've got these different sales messages. We've got upcoming games I've got to sell tickets to. But they're the ones that come in and they're like, you know, reminder that Kovalchuk's playing in his 700th game, or, you know, Marty just set another record, or stuff that's, you know, it's so-and-so's birthday today, stuff that kind of, you know, might be glossed over by somebody like myself because I'm so focused on the business side of it. So, you know, they're great in that perspective of, you know, coming in every day and kind of, you know, what the fans are interested in too. And I've got a group of 25 people who are you know, kind of a focus group. You know, before we can go out with it to the general public, we can go to them and say, are you guys gonna kill us for this? Are you guys gonna be into this? Is this fun? So it's really cool to have that fan perspective. And I'm a fan of the team prior to working here, but you know, at the same time, you do lose perspective a little bit in the fact that you are, you know, you're focused on the job at hand. So they've been great in that perspective. You know, some really good stuff that we've gotten from them. When they first came in, actually, everybody did everything, which, you know, was my own fault just because we didn't know any better. So there are some people who are great writers, some people who are not so strong writers, but everybody wrote for the blog. So what we actually did is we put them into different groups. So we created subcommittees. So we have one for the blog, one for Twitter, one for Facebook, events, and then statistics. So each of them basically just kind of stepped up. Somebody took over the committee, and then people joined those committees. So now, if I'm not a strong writer and I don't, you know, I don't want to write, I have the opportunity to not join the blog committee and not participate that way. You know, the same thing. Somebody who doesn't understand Twitter, I don't use Twitter, but I got the other social medias down. Or, you know, our events. You know, we've got somebody who helps us plan events. In the past, we've done viewing parties. We've kind of rolled them into our tweet up events. And in the past, we've done maybe 4 or 5. We did over 20 during the regular season. So half of our road games, you know, we were out at a bar or a restaurant, you know, with our fans, interacting with our fans in real life. So
cool.
It was a really cool, you know, opportunity for us to kind of be out there, and that was the other thing too. Our generals are all shapes and sizes, you know, different sex, different ages. So, and everyone lives in, actually we have one out-of-stater, but everyone lives in the state of New Jersey, throughout the state of New Jersey, and we sometimes get caught up in our DMA. You know, we know where we sell tickets and we focus on going there. But we had some generals who live a little further south and said, we have to do viewing parties down there. There's fans down there. We have to. That
probably opened some doors for you didn't think about.
Yeah, you know, we did a couple viewing parties, you know, 20 minutes away from Philadelphia, and we were afraid. And to be, I was walking in to the restaurant, and little old lady. And she goes, "Oh no, not another Devils fan!" And I thought it was hilarious because, you know, and I walked in and we had, you know, 150 Devils fans packed at a Flyers bar, and you know, it was just one of those where we claim to be Jersey's team. We are Jersey's team, but sometimes we forget about the southern part of the state. So it was fun to be harassed by you know, 70-year-old woman, but also at the same time too. Every single fan walked up to me and thanked me profusely, and obviously, you know, that wouldn't have happened if our general didn't push for it. And originally, we decided, we were like, oh, it's too far south, we're not going to do it. He continued to fight for it. We moved it to a weekend. We did have some people who came from northern Jersey, but the majority of people came from that area, and they had said, I can't even go into our sporting goods store here and buy a Devils anything. It's so awesome that the organization came to our backyard. You know, this is a place where we go all the time, and it's really cool to have us here. We've got our alumni.
Yeah, I appreciate that because I was at the one I went to the one in Bordentown, and it was so nice that I wouldn't have to drive an hour to go to one. I'd wanted to go to one and finally had it, and it's across the street from Chicky and Pete's. I think it was during the Flyers series, and so we knew that bar was full of Flyers fans, but it was really cool to have our own down in this neck of the woods. So thanks to that general for bringing you down here.
Open eyes. And that's the thing. I've got 25 eyes and ears out there. Well, double that because they each have 2. But they're out there kind of giving us feedback that we wouldn't get. We get caught in our own cycles. That it's great to have them in their input. And
do they just work the games, or do they work outside of the games as well?
They work outside of the games. They do coverage for road games as well, and constant. They're out there all the time. So.
Wow. All right, Derek. I know you wanted a question. We're more than halfway over, so I appreciate you hanging on with us.
No problem.
Derek, go ahead.
I just wanted to ask, in your time there, Will, what's been your most successful marketing campaign or digital marketing campaign? Has it been something social, something video? You don't have to go into great detail about it, but just curious of what do you think one of your success stories has been?
Derek, it's like picking my favorite kid. It's tough. We've had so many successes that it's hard to really narrow it down. I guess if I can give you a few of them, because I don't know if I could just narrow down one, but I mean, I've been a huge fan of what we've been able to do with the It's Different Here videos. Just something that was really fun, that we started last summer that kind of took off. I mean, stuff we were like, if we get a couple hundred views, that's fantastic. But each of them have been very successful to the tune. I think our biggest one has somewhere around 8,000 or 10,000 views. Again, small peanuts, but it was still something that was literally an idea that came from an intern conversation. Obviously, the fact that we've been able to sell sponsorship, from it is probably the biggest value for us. Our relationships and our partnerships there have helped us grow as well as have really helped out our partners. So, to be able to take that step, and there's not many teams who are doing social media well, and I kind of take a little pride in the fact that we're doing it well enough that people are saying, I want to invest dollars into what you guys are doing in there. So, those two definitely come to mind, pretty quickly. And also just we talked about it with even just me being here today and Allie setting this up. So, social media has made the world so much smaller. We were able to, during the playoffs, we were able to do New York radio interviews. We were able to get our mascot on the LA Morning Show while we were out there. We actually invited Kevin Smith to the suite via social media. So he accepted. It was very cool to be able to hang out with him, and watch a Devils game, a Stanley Cup game for that matter. So just the fact that we've kind of made the world a little bit smaller through social media has been a lot of fun. We would have never been able to call KTLA or email somebody and set that up, but literally just from one of them tweeting saying, I'm a Devils fan, good luck. We said, hey, we're actually going to be out there. Let's get together. Let's get our mascot on there. And sure enough, their producer called, and we're working out that. So we've gotten so many of those small success stories that it's been great. It's been a really fun time showing up to work every day.
That's awesome. And now
one quick follow-up.
On our show, we had Charles is up, Brad is up, but then y'all were first and second. But then Seth, who's been quiet here, we should be saluting you, dude. You're a general. Here's a general sitting right here. Seth, tell us about it. What's it all about? Oh, his microphone. Got to get your general mic on. No, we can't hear you, buddy. Sorry. We'll just salute you instead, General. Let's see if we can unmic him, Charles, because I think we mic'd you earlier. All right, we'll get that fixed. Charles was up next. Charles, you had a question.
Yeah, Chris is always talking about how when he goes on the road, he's wanting to use Hangouts and stuff to bring the action that's going on the road back into social media. Do you foresee any uses for the Google Plus Hangouts now that you've had the opportunity to jump into one that you might be using in the future?
Yeah, no, this is a lot of fun. This is a fantastic technology. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely think there's some opportunities for us to use this with our alumni, and who knows, dancers, whoever. It's definitely a cool opportunity for us to be able to interact with a number of fans at one time.
Well, I'll help you with your ROI a little more. This will give you a pay raise. Minnesota Timberwolves, and Ken knows this, we had them on. We had the president of the Timberwolves on, and he was on our first Hangout. And then a month later, guess what he does? He does a Hangout with season ticket holders to talk with some of the team people. So then they were more inspired to renew. There you go.
That's great. That's a great use for it. So
I thought that was pretty interesting what they did.
I'm going to steal that.
You should. Steal away, man. We love people taking ideas. Brad, you're up.
You mentioned the once a month ticket deals you guys have with social media fans. How do you balance that with your season ticket holders who buy their tickets 10 months before opening night? And is it tough to kind of achieve that balance between those two, not put more emphasis on one over the other?
No, I mean it is a great question. But luckily our sales team does a really good job of giving so much value to our season ticket holders that they don't they're getting so much additional value in addition to the fact that they're getting a better seat location for all of the games that they're not necessarily seeing that and saying, oh, you guys aren't taking care of us anymore. So it is a once a month offer that happens during weeknight games. So it's one of those where they're going to see it. It's out there. It's very public. But it's only once a month. We're not bombarding you with, oh, come every night this week for a really low price. And our price is not lower than our lowest season ticket price. So we priced ourselves a little bit higher, and they've done such a great job with ticket sales this year that our fans are getting such a significant more value than they have in the past, and our customer service is a lot better too. We actually just in the past few years brought on a client services team to kind of offset that, and I'm sure that they're probably watching this saying, yeah, we're still getting calls about your social media offer, but they haven't come back to us and say, hey, we've got to stop that. So we've done some strategic things in order to make sure that we could avoid those calls.
Death is finally ready. I feel it. Tell me what it's like to be a general. Why are you doing this? Why do you like it so much? And does he treat you nice? I can see his green line, so it's working.
It was. Try popping your headphones out again.
Try popping your headphones out. We're going to have to teach the generals Google+.
Next month's meeting, we'll start.
Next month's meeting, man. All right, you're fired. Oh, there you go. Sorry. You can keep your job. Oh, my. Robert Hanyon, you've been quiet. Do you have a question? This is like Mute Town.
I would say Robert actually, I'll get to see him bright and early Monday morning. Robert,
I guess we come with a question.
Okay, there's Robert.
So I'm from UMass Amherst. I work in the athletic department there, and social media, it's kind of a small thing that we're doing there. For example, Twitter, I'd say we have around 5,000 followers. It's a school of 26,000, and I really see it as an asset that we should bring up. And I know someone had already asked, how to go about convincing people that this is an idea we should go about. I mean, UMass has a really strong sport management program, so you'd think it would be something that they'd be, towards the top at. But I think there's a grand opportunity to get students involved, and I just was wondering if you have any advice if you think it would be possible, one, to convince people that students would be okay to run something like this and help out in the way that the generals do, and two, how about actually convincing them that?
That's a good question, and I think you do. I think you have a grand opportunity there. Obviously the amount of students there and the sports that you guys have there, some really good teams. I can think of a goalie you guys may have produced that I'm not a huge fan of right now. But yeah, no, I mean, I think it's an ideal situation, especially at a college, for you guys to kind of run the social media for the teams, and obviously it would be a great real life experience. I'd love to have a couple of those people intern for me. So yeah, I mean, I think we might be the example that you go to them with, and maybe you try it out. I mean, when we started the Generals program, we didn't just send them out on the freeway. Everybody was. I'm sorry. We had a full month of training before we even got to that. So the Generals got a full understanding of how we talk, how we proceed with everything. What to stay away from, what to answer. Basically the whole rundown of what was expected of them. So, I think for starters that would be something that you'd obviously have to do. And, I assume there's a dean or somebody in the sports management department that could help oversee it. It's pretty much just convincing them that, this could be done and could be successful. And then it's putting together the numbers to back it up. If you're able to grow your base and, sell more tickets or get more people to attend different sporting events that might be a little more challenging. All that stuff's going to be really key for you to go back to them and say, let's try it. Let's, give me the rope, and then, do your best to avoid hanging yourself. So, I think, especially on a college campus, I have to imagine that's the main way for you guys to communicate. So, I think it would probably be great for the organization. I guess the hard part is the turnover with. Every 4 years you get a new.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But at the same time, too, your basketball team and your hockey team does it too. So.
Yeah, I think because right now for UMass, it's kind of like this is probably the time. We're kind of rebranding because football's moving up to 1A, playing at Gillette Stadium. Basketball's kind of come back into the picture. I've been trying to get some experience. I do a sports show on campus, and we've transformed into like an all-access media outlet with Facebook, Twitter, and a blog. And recently I just started trying to grow it. We're at like 50 followers about a week ago. We're over 200 now. And just as I was on the show, we got a retweet from Marcus Canby. So it's something I think that there's a good opportunity. And yeah, I'll definitely take some of that advice to just get talks about it within the athletic department to grow it a little bit.
All right. Okay, General. Strike one. Strike two. Here comes the pitch, even though it's hockey.
All right. Can everyone hear me now? Just testing it.
Unbelievable. Yep. Amen. Hallelujah. Go ahead, Seth. General.
So your first question was, how is Will? He is an awesome guy. I love being part of the Generals program. It's been an amazing experience. Basically, what I'll do on a normal day, I'll come in, take down to Mission Control, I'll get onto Twitter, cover the games, have some contests going on with the fans. We do a first goal guess, and we give out some prizes to the people who guess the player who's going to get the first goal correctly. And just get some fan interaction, and everyone loves it. It's been a big hit, and it's been so much fun.
First goal prize right here.
Nice.
Awesome.
Jacob
Joseph. Show that again. Show that again.
It's an autographed Jacob Joseph.
Congratulations.
Wow.
I guessed him probably for like 3 weeks straight, and then finally he came through for me.
I'm impressed.
That's cool. That's great. And so, what got you, Seth? Why? And you go to every game, and you're determined to do this. And why are you doing it? And why is it so much fun?
It's just like, I don't really know how to explain it, but I've just been a fan of social media, and just I've always had this interest in just talking to people. I'm very outgoing, so this was my perfect way of getting into the sports industry and doing exactly that.
All right. If you're outgoing, just make sure your mic's fixed next time, okay?
Will do.
I had to have fun with you a little bit there. All right, Diana, I'm going to let you come in early. She usually asks questions near the end. We've got about 10 more minutes, but you've just been too quiet for me. So what do you got?
Okay, so will I like to ask questions about food, and anyways, I was just wondering if you like devil's food cake or deviled eggs, or what you like that's deviled.
She always asks a food question.
I'll definitely say anything devil food cake. That sounds pretty good. Deviled eggs, sure. But yeah, anything with cake in it can't be too bad, right?
Yeah, the sweets are always good, any time of the day, any time of night.
Oh my! All right, we should have saved that one for the end. You're right. Okay. we always have fun with Diana. Okay, so you were let's talk a little bit about you. You're not just your basic PR, basic stats, basic. You like to have fun. I like that. I like that about you. It's different. In the old days, it was just like, here, just give her stats, But you have fun. You're doing the social media. And then you even do stuff where you wear a bow tie for superstition. Tell people about that. And by the way, I brought this just for you. This was my father-in-law's. He passed away a couple years ago, but he used to always wear a bow tie, so I framed it for my wife.
Very nice.
So I know that you were big into bow ties. Tell us about the story on that.
My wife, big bow tie fan. She purchased me one. I've never worn it. We were down 3-2 to Florida in the first round of the playoffs, and Joe suggested I wore it. So I was like, okay, I'll class myself up a little bit. Maybe the little superstition will get things going. And I wore it to Game 6, which we won, and then ended up winning the series. So after we won 2 games in a row, I was like, okay, let me keep this going. With the 5 series, I actually didn't. I didn't wear it Game 1. Everyone's like, oh, you got to keep the thing going. So didn't wear it Game 1. We ended up losing. So I was like, okay, I promise I'll wear it. I wear it the next 4 games. The bow tie goes 6-0. At one point, I'd worn the bow tie. We were 10-0.
Wow.
So I know I want to credit all the guys.
No, credit the tie, man. The bow tie.
The bow tie. Yeah.
You should have had a known hashtag.
Yeah. We. It had a little life of its own too. I didn't realize that too many people knew about it, but yeah, it was just something fun where it sparked the fans. So
did fans start wearing bow ties?
Yeah, we actually, I had people coming up to me that I didn't even know, and they were like, oh, you got the bow tie on, just coming and saying
awesome.
Hello. So it was just kind of fun that people were looking for it, and then our staff started to wear. Some of our staff was wearing it.
That's awesome.
The generals were wearing them, so we were. It was just something kind of that was fun.
When did it finally snap?
Unfortunately, towards the end of our season.
Stanley Cup Finals, yeah.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, bow ties just couldn't stop the other team's luck. So.
But y'all made a run there, being down 3-0. That's tough. Most teams would, at the end of the year. I've been covering hockey for years, and that's a grind, man. And to be down 3-0 and to fight back to make it 3-2, that's pretty impressive. The Devils, by the way, I used to cover the Dallas Stars. Here's my little NHL puck, and I know all about you Devils. The Devils, we were trying to win back-to-back Stanley Cup championships, and the Devils came down here and beat the Stars to win the Stanley Cup. So I've always respected the Devils. Y'all have a great organization.
Thank you.
That's my little. That's my only connection with you guys. I did see y'all in the Stanley Cup Finals, though. That was with Jason Arnott back a long time ago.
Yep.
Way back when. We had Madonna, though. Madonna was pretty good. Hall of Famer. All right. Anybody else got a question? We're getting close to wrapping up here. About 5 more minutes.
We actually have one from Zach Richards on the YouTube stream.
All right. Out
Says,
from the YouTube world.
Do you find that your social media initiatives appeal to a wide demographic? If so, how do you target certain demographics?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough question to answer. Our goal is to really resonate with our fans. We have a demo for our fans. We obviously realize that we have people who are outside our hardcore demo. Allison being one of those people who's outside of our typical demo. But yeah, we just try to put out content that we know that our fan will be popular with our fans, and we'll try different things and see how it goes. But yeah, I mean it's it's hard for us to pinpoint one demographic and then say, we're going to have content that specifically interests to them. Our males 18 to 54, we know what we are expecting with them and what they're going to like. But we have people who are outside of that, so we're really looking for the Devils fan, and we're trying to find content and stuff that will be interesting to them.
Ken is dying to get on. He's been on our show. He's been part of our show. Who's going to sacrifice themselves to let Ken on for the last 5 minutes?
I
Diana,
will.
you are? Diana will do it. You're awesome. So Diana will do it. You're a great person. Thank you for being on.
He's in, actually.
Oh,
Diana's
just left.
Oh.
Hey, is it 8:30 Central? This thing starts, right?
Hey, Ken Troop is on. Ken Troop has been part of our show, has hosted the show, been part of it. He wanted to come on. He used to work with the Dallas Stars, the Texas Rangers. He was the one that was throwing some questions at you. But good night, everybody. See you later. We're finished. Thanks, Ken, for joining us.
I thought
Ken,
this was 8:30 Central. What's going on?
Hey, man, it's always Texas time. All right. Go ahead and ask Will a question, Ken.
Hey, Will, I wanted to know how active your ticket sales reps are on Twitter and LinkedIn and social media sites, and if you encourage that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, our door is always open. We love when they come in here, ask questions, and the same thing. We'll get a ton of questions about different season ticket promotions and stuff like that. So we'll reach out to them. We'll say, hey, I'll call down or have them come up and help us with it. So, personally, I don't know. We don't have a specific one for tickets. We don't have like Devils tickets or anything like that. But we interact with them quite a bit and try to get the information to our fans. Obviously, now when people are looking to buy individual tickets, we're getting a lot of individual tickets. I'm sorry, were you? Oh no, I thought you were saying something.
You were cutting out. You were cutting out a little bit there, so I might have missed some of that. But I'm more concerned with like your ticket sales reps' own social media presence and how they manage it. Because I just think nowadays, if you're selling anything and you're not buttoned up on your social media presence as an individual, you're missing out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm not sure. We haven't had anybody come in here and say, I'm using this as ticket sales rep A, and communicating with my customers this way or putting information out that way. So, individually, I don't believe so. We don't have a Twitter handle specifically for tickets, but we do interact with them quite a bit on a daily basis.
Have the players been pretty receptive to you guys in what you're doing?
We're our organization. We have our guys are focused more on the hockey aspect of it. So most of our guys don't utilize Twitter. So it makes it a little more challenging because obviously our fans want to know what Travis Zajac had for breakfast.
Right.
But the guys aren't out there.
But your guys, your generals and stuff could be down in the locker room and getting quotes and stuff like that. Do y'all do stuff like that?
Yeah, we have our PR department helps us out with all of our player stuff. So video and fun content like that we're able to get from them.
So it is basically from the players, but it's coming through you, helping by you tweeting it out. Okay. Exactly. So they're still receptive to you though, interviewing them and talking to them.
Oh yeah, no,
just like journalists.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. That's kind of what I was kind of getting at as well. Not necessarily them doing it, but interacting with you guys to get their message out. Have they been pretty open to that?
Totally, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they have a good understanding of the value and the reach that we do have. So they're always willing to assist.
What's this doodly thing that y'all did?
It was actually a pretty fun contest. Again, just trying to be in the forefront. We wanted to see, we wanted to come up with some kind of promotion that was a little bit unique, and there's video and there's photos. There's all kinds of other contests, but we figured, what, anybody could draw, and then it was just kind of like, well, there's people who are a little bit, conscious of their skills. So Doodly is a company who, we had reached out to and said, we'd love to do a contest with you guys, and that was a huge contest for us. We the numbers escape me at the moment, but in the tens of thousands, we had over, I think it was 500 different doodles, entered, and then somewhere around in the mid 5 digits of, because what happened is you doodled a rally towel that we're going to use for the playoffs.
Okay.
So open to all of our fans, and obviously, the only thing we had on it was. This would be the rally towel for the playoffs. So, with that, we let our fans go to town, and we got so many cool different things. And it's amazing how talented our fans were. Basically, you draw on a tablet, or you could use your mouse and create it on your computer. So basically, just doodle a Devils playoff-themed rally towel. And then it was put to social media as they were all put up. There was a time period to enter your doodle, and then it opened to fan votes. So basically, go out and tell your friends to vote, or just have a really good towel. The top 10 received a pair of tickets, and it came out here for the actual. We unveiled it live in the building, and then
there's one right there.
Yeah. The winner.
Oh, that's cool. Good one, Seth. Keep it up again, Seth, real quick. There you go.
Yeah, so the winner got season tickets to next year, and obviously their doodle presented on that rally towel, as Seth had there.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was kind of a cool concept, and the nice part about it is all those likes popped up on Facebook, so we were able to really get a social share going with our fans off of this contest. So it was just something cool, something fun. Something we'll definitely look at doing next season as well.
And you worked with the Harlem Globetrotters. You didn't have to wear a bow tie for those wins. They never lost.
No, they're a very good team. They rarely lose. In fact, the entire time I was with the organization, we never lost a game. So.
That's amazing. And how long did you work with the Globetrotters?
I was there for a season.
Wow. Was that pretty fun to work with them?
Yeah, it was. Obviously the product itself is fantastic. It's a really fun time. And at that point, I'd worked at Madison Square Garden, up until that point. So literally my entire career. So I only knew one way to do things. It was the Madison Square Garden way. So to be able to travel around and get to see different buildings and see how different, areas did.
I love when they start throwing water around in the crowd.
Yeah, the confetti bucket is
always funny.
Still what I love to see every time they come in.
You can't get your Devils players to do that, I bet.
No. But yeah, no, it's obviously a great organization. Been around for nearly 100 years. Just a good product.
Man, you were great to come on tonight. The fact that you drove all the way down to Mission Control, fantastic. We really appreciate you coming on. Do you want to closing thoughts or anything we didn't hit on that you want to mention before we close the show?
No, I mean, definitely. I first and foremost, I want to thank Allison for making this all happen. I appreciate you guys having me on the show. So, obviously with the ever-advancing world of social media, I definitely look forward to following a bunch of you on Twitter and staying in touch. Love to share ideas, and definitely would love to do this again. Thanks to Charles and Chris also for making this happen.
Absolutely. We'll keep in touch, and next year, let's take the cup. I may even wear a tie for y'all during the bow tie during the playoffs.
We're going to do a bow tie giveaway or something to get.
That'd be awesome.
There you go.
Everybody, thanks for joining. Thanks for watching on YouTube, and we'll see you next week, 7:30 Texas time. Bye-bye.